blind. That's the one you call a sinner and said he's not a God. So he's rebuking them. And listen to what they said. And they answered him and said, thou was altogether born in sin, and now thou teachest us? And they cast him out. So they threw him out of the temple, right? So they threw the blind man out of the temple. But he didn't care. It's the first time he ever seen the temple. What did he care for, right? And because he was blind, it gave him sight. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, Bahamas. Because he was blind all his life. He never been in no synagogue. He never seen no synagogue. Because he was blind, he could talk like this. Because he had never seen a Pharisee in his life, he could talk like this. Because he never had riches, because he never had money, he could talk like this. All because he was blind. So we're getting back to the point. Remember what God said? He is blind because the word of God we made manifest in him. And how was it manifested? Because I ain't never had no money. I ain't never had no money. And because I was born without no money, I go on my life without money. What y'all gonna tell me? Like I said, you don't wake up and talk like this, Bahamas. All because this man was blind is the reason why he spoke the way he spoke. Listen to this, and they answered him again, they said, thou was born in sin, and now you teaches us. But listen now, this is the important part. But Jesus heard that they had cast him out. And when he had found him, Jesus said, dost thou believe on the Son of God? And he answered and said, who is he, Lord, that I might believe? And Jesus said unto him, thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh with thee. And he said, Lord, I believe, and worship Jesus. So what am I trying to tell you, Bahamas? What I'm trying to tell you is this. The reason why God came out and seeked this man is because of his courage. The reason why this man had courage is because he was born blind. He didn't know what it was to have money. He didn't know what it was to be accepted. He didn't know about none of that. So the minute he got his sight, he spoke different. So what I want you to understand is this. The man wasn't blind because he couldn't see. The man was blind because he didn't speak that word. And as soon as Jesus came into his life, then he started to talk to them, Bahamas, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. His blindness was a gift. That was a blessing for him. And when it manifested himself, they didn't know what to do with him. So much so that they threw him out of the temple. They threw him out of the synagogue. They said, we don't know what to do with this man. He's a renegade. He don't respect us. We the Pharisees. We the leaders. And he don't care about that. He don't fear us. Something's wrong with him. And it's all because this man was blind. He was one of the strongest men in the world. God, appreciate and bless this God, protect us. And all things, Heavenly Father, help us to be courageous. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
The views expressed on this program are not the views of ZNS TV 13, and by extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
There are over 3 million shipwrecks on the ocean floor, just waiting to be found. Nothing is truly ever lost at sea, only hidden by time and sand. When I put this fleet together, it wasn't just for fun. And although we do have fun, we never lose sight of our goal. Right here, right now, we are on a mission.
Exuma is the place for excitement at the National Family Island Regatta. April 23rd through 26th, tune into the ZNS Network for Regatta Time. Sailors from around the country will gather in picturesque Elizabeth Harbor for the ultimate showdown, and we'll be right there. Don't miss Regatta Time, April 23rd through 26th at 4 p.m. right here on the ZNS Network.
At the Lyndon Bindling International Airport, I'm Corvell Pyfrom. This is ZNS.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, police making a major drug bust in San Salvador early Sunday morning. Scores commemorating the legacy and heritage of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. In sports, feel athletes shine during day 2 of Carifta trials. The Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition starts now. So glad you can join us. Welcome to the broadcast. Free Nation Movement leader Michael Pintard addressing head-on the future of former party leader and former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis' role with the party. The two men have been at the center of much speculation since their heated leadership race last year and growing worries that the party was becoming fractured. Corvell Pyfrom back from the Free Nation Movement's press conference held earlier today.
The F&M leader was about 16 minutes into his statement before a very enthusiastic and at times overzealous crowd before he finally addressed the issue that was on most people's minds. What will happen now with Dr. Hubert Minnis?
I have met with our former leader, and I've indicated to him that we can benefit from, and I've asked him for, his support. His support in a different capacity than he has served remarkably in Kalani for a number of years. I've indicated to him that we can benefit from his guidance as we strategize to retake and transform this country. I've asked him to provide additional information that many times only prime ministers know that would allow us to defend our record as a party. I've asked him to continue his line of attack on government legislation, policies, and bad programs that do not assist our development. I've also asked him to share his views on who he believes might be a suitable replacement for him in Kalani.
Michael Pintard making it clear the former Prime Minister and one-time leader of the party, a man who has won the Killarney seat for 4 consecutive elections, won't get his party's nomination. What's still not clear is whether Dr. Minnis will accept this.
He did say he would consult with his family. We have not heard back from him, save and except through emissaries, and the party must do what we must do.
And though Mr. Pintard rejects claims of an ongoing feud between himself and Dr. Minnis, his words here seem to indicate that at the very least there is a breakdown in the relationship.
What some may interpret as a feud is simply us saying that there's a standard for all leaders in how they ought to operate. That's right. When you are in charge, you should reasonably expect the support of those persons who are in your organization. Publicly and privately. And therefore, when we call on every member of our team to have message discipline, when we call on every member of our team to be integrated in the meetings that we hold so that we could be on the same page as we present a vision for the future, those are not unrealistic expectations.
And in the leader's view, it's an expectation his predecessor, at-time adversary, seemed unwilling to share. The F&M leader can read the headlines, and he knows that there's a lot of talk about whether this party is fractured. And so he's hoping that today's show of support among F&Ms is proof that the party is more united than it has ever been before. For the Bahamas tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Our Corvell Pyfrom on the story tonight. Well, scores assembled at the William Thompson Auditorium today to commemorate the rich legacy of one of the country's oldest institutions. Mauritian Burrows has more.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force celebrating a legacy of 45 years during its annual church service at the William Thompson Auditorium on Jean Street. The service bringing together force members, opposition representatives, cabinet ministers, and the Governor General, who reflected on the organization's achievements within the last few decades. With 45 years of service behind them and many more ahead, Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, says that the Davis administration remains committed to expanding the Royal Bahamas Defense Force.
This administration remains committed to ensuring that the RBDF is not just operational, but epitomize a well-oiled machine with three essential pillars at its core: human capital, as we continue to invest in training, welfare, and development of personnel; equipment, as we continue in modernizing assets to strengthen surveillance, interdiction, and operational readiness; and training, where we continue to invest in enhancing skill and knowledge to confront evolving security threats. These are not mere policy statements, they are action points.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force Band set the tone, while remarks followed by President of the Bahamas Christian Council, Bishop Delton Fernanda, and Pastor Mario Moxie, encouraging unity under the theme, A People's Force, Guarding Our Heritage Through Godly Excellence. Now, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, also commended the selfless service of the Defense Force members over the past few years, noting that the institution is a true example of the People's Force.
Your emergency operations protocols and procedures and the policies you have developed for operational risk management reflect your professionalism and readiness to act in times of crisis. And your exceptional performance during the global pandemic reminded us all that national security extends beyond traditional notions of defense. You stood on the front lines, risking your personal well-being while supporting public health measures, maintaining order, and protecting our communities. You helped with the fight against COVID-19 and continue to patrol our seas and carry out your regular day-to-day duties. You indeed embody the true essence of a people's force. We are deeply grateful for your service.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Marishan Barros.
Well, before that church service this morning, fallen heroes and officers of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty were remembered during a somber service at the Coral Harbor Base. Families of fallen Marines laid wreaths at the military wall of remembrance. Comrades and officials also gathered in quiet reflection as the names of the departed were unveiled on the military monument, now etched permanently in stone as a solemn tribute to their bravery and sacrifice of Marines. Switching gears tonight, investigations underway into the discovery of a male body found on a beach on Paradise Island during the early morning hours Saturday. Police were alerted shortly after 5:30 Saturday morning, and when officers arrived at the beach, they discovered an unresponsive male lying on the shoreline. Emergency medical services were called in and found no vital signs of life. An autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of his death. 43-year-old woman nursing injuries in hospital after being shot and robbed overnight outside a home on Pigeon P Lane off Camperdown Lane. Reports are that the woman was outside a home in that area when she was robbed at gunpoint by a man she did not know. The culprit then fled the scene in a red-colored Jeep. The victim was taken to hospital for medical attention, where she's listed in stable condition. Investigations continue. Over $700,000 worth of cocaine seized by police Sunday morning during a major drug bust in San Salvador. According to reports, officers acting on information received conducted a thorough search of a beach where they discovered and confiscated the suspected packages of cocaine. Investigations into this matter continues. While Eleuthera police arresting an adult male Saturday afternoon after he was caught with illegal contraband. Reports are that shortly before 4 p.m. Saturday, officers executed a search warrant at a home in Spanish Wells. During the search, they discovered a quantity of suspected cocaine and arrested the sole occupant of the home, a 69-year-old man. A substantial amount of cash was also seized from the premises, suspected of being the proceeds of crime. Investigations continue. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. There's more after this.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. ATC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways. Hello everyone, this is Tony Williams back with a special promotion for BahamasAir.com and GoGo Florida. The $100 deposit is back, but it's only on your debit card. So whether you're renting that sedan, SUV, or spacious minivan for group or family trips, keep your cash in your pocket. Only Dollar Thrifty is making it convenient for you. Your $100 deposit held on your debit card. Available at Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Book now and save big all summer long.
Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin and other educational officials visited Spanish Wells recently to greet the students, teachers, and administrators of the Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School. During the visit, education officials assisted in presenting several awards to students for their excellent academic performances during the last school term.
We're proud of this school because Samuel Guy Pinder is distinguishing itself every year in this nation. Something is happening here that's happening right. And I think the director hit the nail on the head for it. One is the huge parental engagement and support.
I want to say thank you. Thank you to Ms. Roll. Thank you to our teachers. Thank you to the support staff, and certainly thank you, parents. It is indeed the village that causes for our children to excel and to maximize their potential.
Wes Underwood, a student of Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School and a top national achiever in the BJC examinations, was recognized by the school for receiving 10 A grades. Here is his advice to students who also wish to achieve high grades in the national examinations.
If you want to get these good examination results, you have to study and obviously put in the hours. So I was studying from about 3 right after I got out of school till about 7 or 8 on the weekdays, and then on Saturdays I was also doing some tutor.
Jonalie McIntosh for Ed Talk.
Of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Well, welcome back to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. The government partnering with the private sector in an effort to reach the country's carbon emissions and sustainability goals. It is hoped that the Bahamas will reduce emissions by 30% and increase renewable energy by 30% by the year 2030. The Davis administration recently tabled the Emissions Reductions and Incentives Initiative Act to bolster the existing Climate Change and Carbon Markets Act passed back in 2022. And now engagement with the private sector has started to see how the government can help the sector with its transition to cleaner, affordable energy, as well as provide an avenue to track their progress. Registrar of the National Emissions Register, Larissa Cartwright.
The government has also built a national emissions registry, which is an electronic database that serves to house emissions-related data, the incentives that the government seeks to implement, and other initiatives to, again, help the Bahamas track its efforts in reducing its emissions as well as increasing sustainable energy sources. We know that data helps us to understand the needs of various sectors and the general public and translate those needs into financial and technical assistance.
Port Charlotte Member of Parliament and Minister of National Insurance and Immigration, the Honorable Alfred Sears, lauding the government's 2023 mining bill during his recent debate in Parliament. In addition to its economic potential, the bill seeks to highlight the quality in one of the world's purest forms of aragonite.
The Bahamian, what is known as oolitic variety of aragonite, is one of the most purest biogenic and precipitated calcium carbonates. In other words, it allows manufacturers to produce this very translucent quality of glass. In other words, what we have, Mr. Deputy, is not only the natural resources, the mineral resources, but we also have a distinct quality of aragonite, which is rare in the world.
Also says the bill opens a new avenue for ownership for Bahamians in addition to long-term investment opportunities.
Any effect on the water table or surface drainage system, the nature and location of other land uses that could be affected by the operation being applied for, danger of pollution to the environment, any other factors which, in the opinion of the minister, would be against the public interest and, Mr. Deputy, contrary to the national environmental policy.
Well, as Eleuthera experiences economic growth fueled by tourism and investments, President of the Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce, Thomas Sands, encouraging businesses in that community to maximize the economic opportunities now on stream.
If we wish to maximize the moment and opportunity while maintaining our identity, it will require a series of significant interventions. We are hopeful that this can be achieved and that the forecast economic outlook will continue at this incredible momentum despite a new level of global disruption and uncertainty. Smart and sophisticated investors who love Eleuthera tell me not to be distracted by the noise to the north, but instead Eleuthera should stay the course, that the end result will drive even more desire to invest and live in Eleuthera.
Sands is one of the speakers at this year's Eleuthera Business Outlook. He's calling for significant changes to Family Island Development Act that will allow more exemptions and great opportunities for Eleuthera entrepreneurs.
Eligibility. Majority Bahamian-owned established businesses whose primary base of operations is in Eleuthera. Startups or expanding businesses primarily based in Eleuthera. Applicable exemptions: building materials, plumbing and electrical supplies, furniture, appliances for businesses operating in Eleuthera. Equipment, commercial vehicles, land clearing machinery, and related parts necessary for that business operations. IT and software, solar panels, energy efficient solutions, and related equipment for business use.
Wife of the Prime Minister, Anne-Marie Davis, spreading love and hope to 23 teenage mothers who are now enrolled in the Paid School for Girls on East Street. Founded in 1969 by Andrea Archer, the program assists new and existing teen mothers who had difficulties completing school. Since its opening, the school has been effective in providing support services to young mothers pre- and post-pregnancy. Principal of the Paid School for Pregnant Teens, Patrice Miller.
I like to tell people that all of our students have a story. Every girl is not in PACE because they were out there just fooling around. Sometimes it's incest, sometimes it's molestation, whether it's from a family member or a family friend. Our girls are on a very good path. We have a few who may be delinquent, who may not go back to school, but 90% of our students end up either back to mainstream or on the job or tertiary education.
Well, the Prime Minister's wife, Anne-Marie Davis, pitching to do her part to ensure these young ladies have the future they deserve.
Our office is about supporting the empowerment of young girls and helping through their difficult times with important education initiatives, also the healthcare initiatives. In whichever way this donation can help you, I want you to just use it as I know you would, wisely and economically.
Well, the Government High School, one of the country's oldest educational institutions, marks a historic milestone this month as it celebrates its 100th anniversary. The month-long festivities kicked off this weekend as school alumni gathered for a special church service at Hillview Seventh-day Adventist Church, 2 Williams-Darling Highway, with notable alumni, including Paul Adderley and Celinda Primling. Pastor Eric D. Clark says the main focus of this year's event is to honor a century of excellence and legacy.
What is really happening is we believe that this is historic, that the Government High School has been around in existence producing quality persons for the last 100 years, and we're wanting just to give God thanks for that.
Well, alumni and president of the Court of Appeals, Honorable Milton Evans, also in attendance for the service, stating that he's honored to be a part of an illustrious group of individuals.
Some of our more influential persons have actually passed through the halls of Government High, and I think that's pretty well known. Some of the founding fathers of our country, including Celinda, matriculated through Government High, and so it's good to have, the ability to say that I've graduated from Government High.
We'll stay close. We've got more from the Carifta trials. ZNS Total Sports up next. Stay close.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
This is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready, simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars in Oaksville, Carmichael, East Street South, and the Charles Sanders Highway. See Little Caesars BS on Facebook and Little Caesars Bahamas on Instagram for more info.
Pizza.
Diet-friendly special.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Welcome to your Sunday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. Day 2 of the B3A's Carifta trials wrapping up on Saturday night at the old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Team Bahamas sitting in pretty good shape with over 65 Carifta pre-qualifiers already at this point. But on day 2, it would be the field event athletes taking center stage. Day 2 of the Splice and Connect B3A's Carifta trials, and the action just as hot as the weather outside as athletes trying to lock up their spot on the team that will represent the Bahamas in Trinidad and Tobago this coming Easter weekend. On day 2 would be a number of field athletes throwing and leaping to new heights. Up first in the girls under 17 long jump, we would see 3 young ladies jump past the Carifta qualifying standard of 5.45 meters, with Giselle Johnson leaping the furthest with a jump of 5.88 meters. And second would be Teray Forbes with a leap of 5.75. Then third, Keely DeVoe with a jump of 5.47 meters.
I just want to give thanks to my coaches and give thanks to the man above, because without him, none of this would have been possible. Some people doubted me, but now I came and showed them that I was able to do it.
Peculiar set of circumstances in the boys under 17 shot put. The event would take place earlier in the day and complete all of its rounds before a technical error was discovered, and the boys would have to throw again later in the evening. But emerging victorious after a grueling series of throws would be triple threat throws Carmela Woodside with a heave of 14.28 meters to attain the Carifta pre-qualifying standard.
Going into the throw, I knew I already won the competition, so all the pressure was off, and all I had to do was execute. Yeah.
Just tell us a bit about, mentally. I know earlier you guys had already thrown. There was a bit of a mishap on the officials, and you guys had to come back. Just tell us how you had to mentally regroup to come back to compete today.
No, I wasn't really the happiest about it, but, my coaches, they talked to me, got my mind straight, and came out and threw.
Over in the boys under 20 javelin throw, this one would not be close, as Air Assault's Ethan North's heave of 60.65 would be well past his closest competitor and also past the Carifta pre-qualifying standard.
I feel very good. I was battling a lot of injuries at the start of the season, so it feels good to come out there at Carifta trials and qualify.
Walk us through the throw.
I just focused on how high I had to throw the javelin, just put my faith and trust in God, and just did what I had to do.
And in another hotly contested division, the boys under 17 high jump would produce 3 Carifta pre-qualifiers, but soaring past the competition would be T-Birds Flyers Obadiah Cherazar with a leap of 1.98 meters.
It was pretty easy, pretty standard. My coach, he put me at some high heights, so the little low heights wasn't really that bad. But when I got to like 190, it was a bit harder, but still just had to put a little more effort in. That's it.
And that's been a check on your sports on this Sunday. A look at weather when we return.
Good to go. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, and it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, and it's good to grow.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is pulling out all the stops for this year's Agri Expo happening April 4th to 6th. At today's press conference, Minister Jomo Campbell and Project Manager Jacqueline Fox DeVoe spilled the juicy details on what attendees can expect. And trust us, you don't want to miss it.
This is more than just an event. It is a movement toward a stronger, more self-sufficient Bahamas.
There'll be a number of lecture series. Whether you want to do Poultry 101, whether you want to learn aquaponics, whether you want to learn aquaculture, whether you want to learn how to do backyard gardening, whether you want to learn how to grow sweet potato, whether you want to eat some flour cake from Cat Island. We have it all there at this year's Expo.
Minister Campbell emphasizes the importance of the Expo in promoting local food production, strengthening food security, and creating opportunities for Bahamian farmers and fishers.
Young Bahamians will be able to showcase their work, contributions to these vital industries. We have 80 plus local artisan displays showcasing Bahamian-made products. Bahamian-made products. And the most fun part of it all, a free kiddie corner and family-friendly activity section. There will be cooking demonstrations, and the Battle of the Island competition is back again, featuring Bahamian chefs using homegrown ingredients, not to mention live Junkanoo and cultural performances. Ladies and gentlemen, we are committed to building a self-sufficient and sustainable food system that will nourish future generations.
The Agri Expo 2025 will be held from April 4th to 6th, and organizers are encouraging the public to come out and experience the best of Bahamian agriculture and marine resources. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of flood protection products. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable Flex Seal family of flood protection products.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. It's beautiful. Diane Dorsett joins us in the studio with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Diane.
Hey there, Desmond. We're still enjoying fresh breezes and dry conditions across the islands tonight and into tomorrow morning. But changes are on the horizon. A system is approaching, and by Tuesday night, showers and thunderstorms are expected to move into the northwest Bahamas, then spread southward on Wednesday. Some of those showers could be heavy and even severe at times, so stay tuned for updates as the front moves in. Right now outside our studios is a pleasant evening with partly cloudy skies. The temperature is 78 degrees, relative humidity at 74%, and the barometric pressure is 1,021.4 millibars or 30.16 inches. Now let's take a quick trip around the Family Islands to see how temperatures are shaping up. In the northwest Bahamas, we're seeing Freeport City 80 degrees, Green Turtle Key 80 degrees, Marsh Harbor Abaco 81, and 79 in Bullocks Harbor, 78 in Alistown, Bimini. For those of us in the central Bahamas, we're seeing warm temps in the lower 80s. We have Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 82, Camp Space, South Andros at 83, Black Point, Exuma also 83, Rock Sound, Eleuthera 81, 78 in Harbor Island, and for Arthurstown, Cat Island 82 degrees. Moving down, similar feels in the lower 80s with Georgetown, Exuma, Rumkey, and San Salvador all at 82. And for our southernmost islands, a mix of upper 70s, low 80s, Ragged Island, Clarencetown, and Crooked Island at 79, Betsy Bay at 82, Auckland's also at 82, 78 in Matthew Town, and for the Turks and Caicos Islands, 81 degrees. Now, for your boating forecast. In the northwest Bahamas tonight and tomorrow, expect southeast to south winds at 12 to 18 knots with seas between 3 to 6 feet. In the central and southeast Bahamas, winds will be a bit lighter, southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas between 2 to 4 feet. Small craft operators in the northwest Bahamas should continue to exercise caution. Tides will be low at 10:13 tonight and again at 11:08 tomorrow morning. Now looking at the satellite image, we're seeing low-level clouds drifting in from the south, but overall dry conditions remain fair for now. Tonight, you can expect partly cloudy skies and a mild low around 74 degrees. Perfect for sleeping with the windows open. Tomorrow, it'll be a bit breezy in the morning, but otherwise expect a mostly sunny and warm day, with temperatures climbing to a lovely 84 degrees. And here's your extended forecast. Starting Tuesday evening, those showers and thunderstorms will make their way into the northwest Bahamas, then push southward into Wednesday. Once the system moves through, we'll be treated to cooler nighttime temperatures from Thursday straight through the weekend. A refreshing change to end the week. Back to you, Desmond.
Great wrap, Diane. Thanks very much. And this programming enough before we close. Stay tuned for highlights from the recent general election in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Following this newscast, it ends the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for watching. Have a good night.
At Bahama Boulevard, I'm Sean Innes. This is ZNS.
The Turks and Caicos Islands, a chain of jewels in the Atlantic, home to pristine beaches, vibrant culture, and a people standing at a crossroads. The 2025 general elections marked a defining moment in the archipelago's political landscape, one that would shape the destiny of these islands for the next 5 years.
Over 6 days, I walked at these streets, listened to the voices, and witnessed the nation in the Valley of Decision. This is their story.
Shisha Lounge and Restaurant located in Grace Bay, Providenciales, your #1 night spot in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Come party with the stars.
See and enjoy the island of Grand Bahama with so much to offer. H. Forbes Charter Services Limited is just what you need to make your next experience a memorable one. We serve groups of all sizes in cool and comfortable limousines, coaches, and buses. We're the one to call for sightseeing tours, charter services, bonfire on the beach, and other fun-filled activities. So come and experience Grand Bahama Island with us, where it keeps getting better.
Over the years, PNP has improved this country. Every infrastructure, every institution in this country has been done by the PNP former administration.
I'm looking at the state of the country, and I see the difference when PDM run the country and when PNP run the country, and I know this be a lot more prosperous under the PDM.
I feel like it's gonna be, some gonna lose their seat and some gonna win.
For the Progressive National Party under Premier Washington Mizik, the mission was clear: to continue the work they started. Infrastructure, tourism, and economic development. Promises laid out to secure another 5 years in power.
Welcome to Turks and Caicos, Mr. Notes. All right, pleasure meeting you. Okay?
Likewise.
Okay? So, we're neighbors, we're friends, and you're always welcome.
I have a strong record as an individual in politics and in leadership in this country, in the Progressive National Party. In the 49 years since ministerial government has been introduced, have a track record of building institutions, providing safety nets, and supporting the voters of this country. And so, we have a strong record to run on, while the other side are just running on rhetoric.
Getting to immigration and safety and concerns from some of the residents here on Turks and Caicos Island, crime is a major one for many of them. Opposition members seem to think that the PNP does not have the answer and that they have the plan for it. What is your response to the crime on this island and the importation of illegal firearms?
We have a plan. We've been working that plan. We've been resourcing the police. We've given them everything they asked for. We'll continue to, I can list some of the tools and equipment and resources that we've given. Mobile police station, armored vehicles. We've introduced something like 12 or 13 new pieces of legislation to give the police more power of arrest, to give them more power and to deal with guns and gangs, increase prison terms for violent crimes, particularly the use of firearms. We have identified, put in additional radars to protect our borders in order to reduce the immigration, the illegal immigration coming into the country, right? We have purchased land for additional, to build new detention centers. We're doing everything that we can. Crime has become an issue across the Caribbean.
More scorn is being heaped on the government's handling of the crime situation plaguing the country.
Tonight, two of the most beautiful destinations in the Caribbean now clouded by a stark warning from the U.S. government amid a rise in violent crime.
But in democracy, every promise is met with a challenge. On the other side, the People's Democratic Movement, a party vowing to deliver change. In the battle of leadership, the question was no longer just about who would lead, but which vision the people would choose.
In my vision is really and truly uplifting of our people in our country. We have seen over the past 4 years that there has been a decline in our people participation in business, our people participation in the wealth of the country, our people participation in the top jobs, getting access to scholarships, access to loans, home ownership. We have just seen a decline in Turks and Caicos Islands participation. Now we have to turn things around. This is a critical election. We have to turn things around for our people. We have to truly take care of our people and ensure that we uplift them, and not for these things to be political slogans, but really and truly be intentional about uplifting our people. So our people do not have to go to the UK or the US for a better life, while others are coming here for a better life and living very well, but our people cannot survive in our country. As we like to say, we are being priced out of paradise. So we want to reverse that trend and make sure that our people can truly prosper.
But no election is won on party promises alone. The heartbeat of these islands doesn't lie in campaign speeches or political rallies. It lies in the voices of the people. For many in Turks and Caicos, politics isn't just about party colors. It's about survival.
You know, I work in a hotel and I seen a lot of Mexican coming, like, you know, Donald Trump report, a lot of Mexican, and look like they bringing it here.
We can't stop this progress. We gotta move forward, full speed, straight ahead. Nothing else. We can't be able to go back in time for what?
Our strategy this campaign season has been pretty simple. The party has been the government for the past 4 years, and the record over that 4 years has been pretty impressive. So our strategy has been reminding the people of where we were 4 years ago and where we are today, and the successes or the wins that we would have coined them that have taken place over the past 4 years. We started off with about 100 wins. To date, we're at about 148 wins, deliverables, however you want to coin it, but our strategy has been basically running on our record.
The message for us and the strategy for us is speaking to the Turks and Caicos Islands about its future. We believe that citizens of this country are not the benefactors of the robust economy that we have. They're not living in a safe society. Crime is a serious concern for a lot of residents. So we're addressing that issue head on, and we are offering plans that we'll address immediately once we get to office. Housing is a main issue for us in terms of scarcity and young people being able to access housing. So part of our strategy also is to address that need, directly to the young population of this country, and a number of other issues. Border security, this current government hasn't done sufficient, we believe, to address the border security issues in this country. So we are directly addressing those issues, and we plan to invest quite a bit of money into protecting our borders. So the strategy is addressing the nation's issues head on and offering what our solutions will be for those issues once we become the government of the day.
In the heart of Providenciales, the TCI dream is alive, not only in politics, but in the stories of young visionaries like Riney Campbell, who turned a dream into a destination.
I'm a simple guy, was born in a small little island in Turks and Caicos called North Caicos. But then I came from the smallest little parish in North Caicos, it's called Sandy Point.
The story of Turks and Caicos is not only written in politics, it's written in the dreams of its people. One young man with nothing more than a vision turned a small idea into one of the island's most sought-after nightlife destinations, the Shisha Lounge, a symbol of what can happen when given the chance to build, create, and succeed.
One of my greatest accomplishments, and the reason 5 years later Shisha is still open, is because unlike all my other businesses where I just put it in the hands of other people, I'm more focused in doing it myself, knowing how to make sure everything that needs to be taken care of is taken care of the right way, you know. And for me, I see it as more being able to do something to cater towards the everyday black men and women. Having a place where they can come, watching the locals being able to now rent their home. And a lot of people, they see it as, oh, Riney's making money, Riney's making money. Riney is not making money. Riney is only a part of an experience and an opportunity for all these local businesses in Turks and Caicos now to benefit. Because when these people come here, they are renting cars, they're renting villas, they're renting houses, they're renting jet skis, they're renting boats, they're spending a lot of money, they're going places. Of course, they're not going to go Shisha every night. So they're going to go to the Azizas, they're going to the Noah's Ark, they're going to an island, they're going to many places. But one of the main driving force that is bringing them here is the promotion and the marketing that I have done with Shisha Lounge.
Riney's story is a reflection of what is possible in Turks and Caicos. But dreams like his don't just need hard work. They need opportunity. Opportunity that so many across these islands are still waiting for.
A lot of people are disgruntled because not much happened while I was in Parliament for the last 4 years on this particular island. But I did a lot of community work, even though we had a number of projects that went out to tender. And there's a process called the procurement process. I'm sure you're aware of that. That hinders projects from coming to the fore. And that process hindered 5 major projects we had coming for South Caicos. And that process sort of put those projects on the back burner. Only now the projects are beginning to roll out. So people thought that, oh, he ain't doing nothing. But the numbers are still in my favor. And the projects are now beginning to roll out to really, really show the people that I've been working for them. It's just that the projects took a while to come to fruition.
There's a need for an independent candidate such as myself, one that understands the economy, one that understands how to get things done, and one that doesn't take no for an answer. I don't find excuses, and I don't say someone else or blame someone else. So I think I am the perfect candidate to ensure that this economy will start moving.
Everything has been the same since I was a child. So Congrand Bay, we need proper roads, proper infrastructure. Some of the homes need renovation. You know, some of the homes, they are deplorable. Our people need help. And that is why I put my feet forward to come and represent our people.
Former Chief Minister and representative of South Caicos, the Honorable Norman Saunders, is confident that South Caicos is poised for great opportunities.
We are on the threshold of good times. We are well poised for it, and this is something I predicted, I believe, 10 years ago, that South Caicos time will come. Now with Solterra, Sail Rock Hotel, 2 5-star hotels, we are at the brink big things happening in South Caicos.
The longest-serving parliamentarian in the Turks and Caicos Islands, who recently had the airport in South Caicos named in his honor, is satisfied with the growth and development of the country.
I think we're on the right trajectory. The tourism has gotten to a place now we don't have to worry too much. You have to control it to make sure it's done right. Jobs are being created. Turks Islanders are getting educated so that they can now move into the higher echelon of the employment categories. And I think so the country is on the right trajectory. We're doing a lot of things right. We're getting our medical facilities right. Still got a long way to go, but we're getting it right.
Over in Grand Turk, the candidates expressed their views on what needs to be done in the next term.
This term is that everything that was set out to be completed in Grand Turk, bringing in a major hotel, revitalizing the housing situation in Grand Turk in particular. Whereas even though that housing is a problem throughout the Turks and Caicos Island, but mainly my main focus would be here in Grand Turk and do upgrading of all the facilities, infrastructure, and all the stuff that is needed for Grand Turk to make Grand Turk back again. And one more thing, most important, is that to have a direct airline flight from Grand Turk to the United States of America.
I would like to say I'm an avid sports fan, and for the youth and to deal with sports, I would like to see us develop sports tourism here in the Turks and Caicos Islands. I will be fighting for this. I'd also like to see the Carifta Games come back to Turks and Caicos. So this is some of the things that I would like to see. I have been involved in the financial services business also for a number of years, and I would also like to see us advance the financial services business also here in the Turks and Caicos Islands to diversify our economy. Tourism is one of our main industry. I would like to see the financial services industry do as well as the tourism industry here in the Turks and Caicos.
The twin islands of North and Middle Caicos has been represented by a son of the soil for the last 4 years. Arlington Chuck Musgrove talks about some of his proudest accomplishments.
My proudest accomplishment, I think, is when we launched the border force in the Turks and Caicos Islands a few months ago. That's where we joined our customs and immigration, and under the leadership of my Director General now, Emilio Seymour, and headed by my PS, Eleuthera. That was my proudest moment because we campaigned on that, and it took us a little while to get it together, and to see that task force now, the border force around these islands, their uniform, the branded parts of where the airport, the offices, it's given me great pride in what's going on. And then my second accomplishment is when I opened up that airport a few months ago, after being closed for almost 15 years in North Caicos. That was something I really, really proud of. I really, really wanted to do that because we have a lot of, well, not a lot, but we have a few dialysis patients. We have elderly folks. I think this was one of the most elderly, the island that had the most elderly people here. And so when you're taking the ferry, especially in the winter season like now, the water tends to be more rough. And so I was still concerned about my people taking that ferry all the time. So I pushed for that, and now we have 3 flights a week coming in and out of North Caicos to pick up the elderly and the dialysis patient. And after the budget in April, you'll have flights every day.
We vote in By 10 a.m., this will be all over.
Under the glow of rally lights, hope takes center stage. The promises made from these platforms hold the power to change lives.
Your kids getting a scholarship, but it's far and few between. Which political party did they get it under? Think about getting access to crown land to build your business and to build your home. Which political party did you get it under?
I believe the next 5 years is an opportunity, and we're at a crossroad. We're minutes away from greatness. The foundation that has been laid over the last 4 years by the Honorable Premier and his cabinet. They deserve an opportunity to build on that.
After years of waiting, after years of empty promises from the other side, where we're standing now, the Eric Otter Airport is finally open. But this is not just a symbol. This is the airport that you heard the Premier say the other day will be open as a military base, a training center for a TCI regiment hub and the emergency response. More importantly, it will serve you, the people of Caicos.
PDM never had ideas, so they can't run out of ideas. They never had plans, so they couldn't run out of plans. So all they have is trying to sow discord among brethren, rumors, lies, and innuendos. That's all they got left to try and win a couple seats. But guess what, PMPs? We ain't giving them none.
God has ordained this moment for the Progressive National Party to take this country to where it needs to go. And when he decrees something, there's no demon in hell that can hold that back. The other thing, let me tell you, it takes experience. It doesn't matter what you say. It takes experience. And the Progressive National Party brings to you progress that you know and experience that you trust.
When we outside, it's PDM love. Ring all the bells, stars up above. Let me dance now, take a vote now with me. Vote for PDM.
The night before the election, the PDM made their final appeal to the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands.
You have to feel safe in this country, and we're going to ensure that it happens. Your future is the priority of the People's Democratic Movement. Tomorrow is election day. Let me say it again. Tomorrow is election day. Tomorrow is Liberation Day. Turks and Caicos!
I believe this is my season to serve the people of Turks and Caicos. And I'm gonna give all of my time, all of my resources. I'm not concerned about the UK. I'm not concerned about what they say our Constitution can say or do, or whether this is not how government works. Well, guess what? How the UK see government working for Turks and Caicos, and it is not working. We're gonna dictate and determine how we want the Turks and Caicos government to work. So to the PSs out there, all of my government civil servants, PNP or PDM, after tomorrow, let's put it behind each other and let's work together to restore hope in this country.
Hope alone cannot shape a nation. It must be matched with action. As the sun rose on election day, the power shifted from the politicians to the people. For one day, every voice counted. Every vote carried the weight of a nation's future. Would they choose to continue the path they were on, or another?
When I went that poll, only thing I saw was the shell. And that's exactly what I vote for. My constituency and my 9 at-large candidates. Don't vote PNP, straight down the line.
Why is the vote now?
That's the best party to vote for. That's the way our young children will get knowledge, college, and you could go on and on.
Last election was 14-1. You predicted 19.
14-1, I predicted 19. We won 19. Full 19.
I vote PDM.
PDM?
Straight down.
Straight down.
Yeah, right.
Why PDM?
That's my choice, yeah.
Okay. What about you, sir?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Nothing changed.
Nothing changed. Why you going to PDM?
Huh?
Why you going to PDM?
That's my choice, bro.
Okay. All right.
At the PNP headquarters, party officials and supporters watch closely as the results trickle in. their hopes pinned on the numbers shifting in their favor.
I feel pretty confident that at the end of the day, when the dust is settled, we will end up with at least 8 electoral districts. And then, of course, the way the numbers are trending, I feel we will end up with most, if not all, of the constituency 11, which is the at-large constituency, comprising of 9 seats. So I would expect that we will be able to retain or win most of those. So I think we'll have a very, very comfortable majority. I think it's fair to say that we're expecting a landslide.
Meanwhile, at the PDM headquarters, it's a battle of patience and strategy. Party leaders and campaign teams analyze every update, their eyes fixed on the results board, hoping for a breakthrough that could turn the tide in their favor. Both parties understand the stakes. Every vote counted brings them closer to the answer the nation has been waiting for. Will the people choose continuity, or is change on the horizon? The countdown to the final decision has begun.
For the best in premium lubricants for your vehicle, purchase super synthetic motor oils and hydraulic fluids distributed by KMW Battery and Tires in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Come and be blessed at the New Life Worship Center in Freeport, Grand Bahama, where Bishop Simeon Ouden is the senior pastor. Services are on Sunday at 9 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Come and experience a time of praise and worship in the Word.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Super P, the entertainer from TCI. I'm stopping by to tell you about the 2nd annual Come Go With Me Best of the Best Music Festival happening in the Turks and Caicos Islands on June 7th, 2025 at the Grace Bay Marketplace. If you haven't as yet, get your tickets, get your flights, and meet me in Turks and Caicos Island because this is about to be a real big movie. Let's go to Turks and Caicos.
The Progressive National Party has secured a decisive victory in a historic election that signals a shift in leadership.
With all of my heart, I thank the Almighty for the victory and for His blessing. And I thank you all. So my fellow Turks and Caicos Islanders, on behalf of the Progressive National Party, I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this resounding victory and this mandate to continue the work that we have been doing for you. And I say,